Here in the third generation ICE train service, here also reservation free from Germany to and from Brussels. In the third generation, those are the pointy ones. Sometimes, depending on the wind or the luxury of the engineer, you may be able to see out the end. And also a nice advantage in this compartment, you can adjust the temperature. The 2016 update for the Euro Pass, which now has a new cover and a new page arrangement with an optional insert. You may want to tape it in. The possibility of making reservations in Germany, including the addition for now travel to Poland, includes the Warsaw Express now, €4.50. In Cologne, one can make reservations for the peak load priced French trains, one normally not available outside of France, at the Thales office across the street from the Cologne main train station. Heads up, the TGV service, that's the Belgian service to France, has now become very expensive at €30. Really now making the consideration going through Lille very relevant. So I'm back here in my favorite city, Brussels, after recovering from a horrible incident, and got some wonderful service. And also updating, we now find that Spanish trains no longer have that horrible €30 charge for first class, or as they call it, preferente. Well, on my grand tour across some more than 3 weeks in 12 European capitals, I wound up actually saving more than I spent on my reservations, which have become quite dear. I wound up spending over €100, but that doesn't mean I didn't save anything. Going to and from Cologne to Brussels, I took the German ICE instead of the Thales. That saved me 30 each way. There's a total of 60. And well, I'm going to Warsaw, that's another 50 cents. And then going to Warsaw to Vienna, that's another 50 cents. Used to be 4, now it's 4.50. Going from Stuttgart to Paris, and likewise vice versa, I'm going second class, which is €13 instead of €30. Well, I do get a meal, but good grief. There's another, 26 euros. And then I am going from Nantes to Lille to go to Brussels. Taking one train instead of 2, that saves me 9. Also saves me the connection in Paris on the horrible metro from Montparnasse to Gare du Nord. I'm going from Basel down all the way to, if you will, Milan and to Bologna. The rates are still much the same, 11 and 10 respectively. But now, going from Bologna to Firenze to Roma, I'm taking the inner city train, which is €3 instead of 10. There's another 7. And then I'm going back to Lyon. And from Lyon, I'm going down to Montpellier. Close enough, I'm taking the local train instead of the TGV. That saves me another 10. Going from Montpellier to Barcelona, I'm going second class. They do arrive at the same time and the seats are the same size. That saves me another 10 going second class. Now here's an update change. Going on the AVE train in Spain, they changed it so now they are both €10, both first and second class. Same kind of fare structure as in Italy. So no savings, but that's a nice relief. I'm going preferente, that's first class. And then going from Madrid to Vigo, second class is $6.50 instead of the $10 first class, saving me round trip another 10. And then we're going to Portugal, where you have to do the reservations in Portugal. It's €5, but that's no change. The savings I figured out amounted to more than €150 as opposed to the base, which I wound up paying of 100. It is getting more expensive to do reservations in Europe. With this inaugural run of the first-time usefulness of the rail pass in Poland, I'm taking the Warsaw Express. Highly recommended is the pierogi, and especially for those who like your good stuff hard and your hard stuff good, get the krupnik. I'm here in Warsaw, Centralna, and again because they've added it to the rail pass for travel in Poland this year, and I'm going to be going to Vienna. Today I'm going to be changing in Breslau the train proceeding on further to Budapest, and even, get this, Sofia, Bulgaria, which I believe is also included in the past. And at Breslau, I'll be changing to the Railjet service, which is reservation free, and that's the really cool airplane-style seating Austrian train. Here comes the Railjet. This service, the blue one if you like, is a service that's been added to now the Czech Republic, and service also available to Hungary. It's reservation free. It's not a high-speed train. It does, however, replace the Eurocity. Railjet service, normally a red livery, is also available in blue livery. That's the one that's dedicated to the Czech service. Although, don't rely on it. They both appear. Here in Prague, Praha, Hlavní nádraží, the main train station, they have the departure boards and arrival boards, and always yellow is departure, white is arrival. And these are easy to read. You use the little buttons up and down, unlike, say, the ones in Madrid, Chamartin, which were illegible. Here in Prague, reminding me of the Grand Budapest Hotel, is the Grand Palace. Look who stayed here. Recommended, although it's priced not to move, it does replace the Europa. I'm taking the train from Prague to Munich, München. You can take the bus. Oh, please don't say we did. And here in Pilsen, they're going to be changing the direction and the type of locomotives, going from electric to diesel, and also this Alex service as part of the privatized German system. Well, it'll be heading the diesel locomotive.
Gleis 12. Bitte steigen Sie ein. Die Türen schließen automatisch. Vorsicht bei der Abfahrt des Zuges.
Here we are, two versions of Austrian trains. This one's going to Italy, old style, and takes a mandatory reservation in Italy. Here's the newer Railjet style, never a reservation, and runs, in this case, to Hungary. Also, there's a blue version that runs in Czechoslovakia. Heads up on your international travel between Germany and France. Do note it comes with 2 tickets, one for the reservation, one for the fee. I'm here in Paris's RER commuter train system, and here are some of the contramarks I've collected. Good thing I did, because they are no longer issuing the complimentary contramark ticket from Gare du Nord to Airport Charles de Gaulle. I've been using them to go from station to station, and the trick there is try to use the one that's the destination instead of origin. They are station specific, and I know for a fact you cannot use them in between stops that are not on the SNCF system. I'm here in the French train station, and I found out that this train has been canceled. How did I find that out? I checked the train computer over there. Got to make a change. Get a refund. Got to do it in advance. I'm here at a pause on the non-reservation form of the French intercity train. I'll be avoiding, among other things, the TGV, the supplement there too, peak load pricing, you know, and also the horrible tunnels, which, because it was one of the very first routes for high-speed trains, they tested the train but not the tunnel. Those tunnels will kill your ears, almost literally. Also, I'll be avoiding that really difficult, long, expensive transfer to Montparnasse, which has no RER. That's the commuter train service. You got to either take the bus or take the metro. Also gives me a chance to stop and tour for a little bit. That's the place where they speak the best French. Here's a map that does show the difference between the inner cities in France, which have a reservation. And those are the ones that are kind of a yellow-green. Oh, let's call it chartreuse, or in French, you know. And the green ones are the without reservation, and the ones that are open purple-striped are the night trains. So I'm here in Lille, Flanders. I was intending to take the no-reservation trains into Belgium, and I thought the perturbation, that's right, that's what they call a strike or a grève in France, was partial, but here, going into Belgium, it's complete. So therefore, I have to use a change in plans, going directly to Amsterdam using the Thalys, and much to my pleasant surprise, they have substantially dropped the supplement charges. I'm going in first class for only 25 euros. What a pleasant surprise. Here in Lille, there's Lille Europe for the high-speed trains and Lille Flanders for some of the slower trains and some trains to Paris or Belgium. The connection between the two is easily walkable, and you can take the metro. The trouble with taking the metro is it's very confusing, not marked at all, and one of the lines does not go anywhere where you want to go. Here in Lille Europe with Thalys trains now originating here, going up, say, to Amsterdam. It's not very well indicated at all what they mean by track 1. It's not track 1. It's the hall 1, which still isn't very clear. Regardless, you go down there and you got to go through the airport-style check-in. Similar to international trains, say, going from France to Spain, and especially between Germany and France, the first-class Thalys trains do provide a courtesy meal, which becomes more enticing with now their very much lower supplement charges. In the Netherlands, to enter the system, especially if it's controlled, use the front of your rail pass, little code right there, and you enter the system. Today I'm in Amsterdam going to Germany, or as they call it, Deutschland, and I'd normally take a reservation-free ICE German train, but because of track work, etc., I'm going to have to be changing in Arnhem. Notice it does not say Arnhem except in the small print, so I'll be taking the inner city toward Nijmegen. So I'm traveling from Cologne to Milan and onward on to Bologna. Because of a certain misdirection and confusion of the Anzeige of the signboards in Cologne, it turns out I needed to change my reservations to the train subsequent an hour later, especially in the Italian portion where they are mandatory reservations. The trick is they were made originally in Germany, so I was smart enough to change them in Germany without any additional charges, and that would have been far better had I waited till my arrival in Italy. So I'm here in France during a strike, which means they run at partial train service as opposed to, say, in Belgium or in places like the other countries in Europe where it's a strike, And the words for that are chauffeur, grève, huelga, strike. They will change tickets depending on who you talk to. Some say it's not worth the bother, they just go on the train. But here they did it, and in that case they are very tolerant about letting them change. They keep both the tickets. Here's an article about opening of the St. Gothard Tunnel, where it now takes 20 minutes, gaining 45 minutes. And another reason to take those Swiss trains, avoiding those high supplement charges, especially if you change at the border. As always here in Montpellier, it's a better idea to make your changes last minute, perhaps at the next train station, Nîmes.
These are costless but necessary reservations on the Celta trains, which are just ordinary Portuguese trains between Vigo and Porto Campagna, international service. The other possibility, of course, is the overnight train, which used to be a party train, is now the food is a frozen nightmare. In fact, it's cheaper to go back and party again back in Vigo. Also, I got good service, much to my pleasant surprise, making these reservations at the station in Barcelona.